of the school right there on Rushwood Street, boys Anglican, girls Anglican, and understand that this becomes the center point for a most important activity for our youth and parents, which is the wellness of our society, the enjoyment of our society. But allow me for one moment to take you a little bit further than Skinner Park redevelopment and to take you into San Fernando redevelopment. To join this project with project sods to be turned are included projects which have already begun, but we have not taken formal sod tuning because we insisted instead, let's get the work started. And join me therefore, ladies and gentlemen, on that small journey away from San Fernando Skinner Park redevelopment. Take yourselves out of this compound, turn left, go down to the link road facilities and understand that we are on a 2-lane road going straight down to the waterfront, having to make the loop in San Fernando to rejoin traffic. And therefore imagine the joy that San Fernando will experience in its 4-lane highway in the redevelopment of the road network between the waterfront and San Fernando, the join of the roadway network back to the Curtin-Rienzi Highway. Understand the relief for our citizens when they see that circulation of traffic means no more bottlenecking of traffic at the link road, no more bottlenecking at High Street, no more bottlenecking at Todd Street. Take us down now to Rushworth Street and understand the supreme logic in connecting Rushworth Street to the waterfront. That pure logic of having an alternative route and highway. Both of these projects under the safe management of the Ministry of Works and Transport in the pure road network program, projects already underway. Permit me to take you further and take you now to the other redevelopment projects. Let's take for a moment on that road network at the beginning of our waterfront. As we come to Embarcadero, we look to our left, Embarcadero's redevelopment, the housing and redevelopment in our squatting community, the building works and renovations. Stop for a moment. Look right to prime real estate. I see Ivan Tulsi smiling. To prime real estate previously owned by the Ministry of Works and Transport, laying there with nothing going on other than bush growing and unplanned activities happening. And imagine for one moment the housing redevelopment temporarily tripped by Cabinet's view that there could be better value for money at the project. But I'm able to say that the HDC is far advanced in its retendering so that the project and housing development will be on track at that location. Take a short trip further down the waterfront. End up at the PTSC yard. Look to your right. See the current usage. Buses, oil, garage facilities, 14 acres of prime land facing the calmest water with the most beautiful view being used for a garage facility. And understand the redevelopment at that site with the PTSC yard now 90% dismantled, with the RFPs having come into UDICOTT, with that 14 acres of land already vested in UDICOTT. Picture when we take you next to the sod turning at that site for our version of 1 Woodbrook Place. Go a little further, get to the car park, that hillside that is used as the car park for San Fernando General, the largest hospital in terms of services, having no adequate car parking. And understand the joy at turning the sod shortly when you deal with the car park redevelopment, as that project has been green-lighted by the Cabinet and as the UDICOTT now advances the completion of that work. Conceptuals done, plans done. Go further to the waterfront and see the redevelopment work already commenced in the reclamation by adding 3.8 hectares of land, acres of land, forgive me, at that particular site, already meeting the 1.8 acres that are there. Add the San Carlos Plaza redevelopment, which is to take care of the old railway station, the historical buildings, the Rodriguez building, the Black Cat Hotel, that square being redeveloped into prime utilization. But don't forget our fisher folk. And be warned when you come back along the waterfront and you now hit the San Fernando development for fishing facilities, which is ice and services, boats and storage for gasoline and services, police monitoring in the NIDCO development, which has already been completed in terms of tendering and request for proposals. That project in green light phase now, and begin to be happy that San Fernando West, 53 years after Errol Mahabir, finally has a member of parliament, a cabinet, and colleagues, and a government that are intent on returning the vitality to San Fernando. Stop for a moment and add further the redevelopment of the Anglican Church's lands between courts and the Anglican Church in a public-private partnership arrangement, where you will see a multi-story administrative complex in for what we really should have had where the teaching hospital is. Stop for a moment and imagine the family court at the location that the cabinet is considering at present, which is the Clooney site. It's an historical site. It was bought 11 years ago and no development happened on the site. It is a home to vagrancy and to dilapidation. And for one moment consider the amplification for our court and facilities. But go further, ladies and gentlemen, to Irving Park. Add at Sutton Street right there, land which was lying vacant, purchased by my predecessor, Attorney General, to put up an Attorney General's office which is not needed, and which we have given as a cabinet to the judiciary for the construction of the San Fernando Magistrates Courts. And understand the redevelopment of San Fernando in anchor projects. Ladies and gentlemen, I've explained to you why these projects could not have happened sooner. Because number one, the financial backing had to be there. Number two, the approvals, the building works, the underwriting of the projects, those take a few years to be done. All of those things having been done now, it is the launching pad for the redevelopment and revitalization of San Fernando. This city once boasted of being the industrial capital of Trinidad and Tobago. This city once boasted of having the San Fernando Chamber of Commerce, now called the Energy Chamber, where we ran Trinidad and Tobago's development. Point Lucis was born right here. Our industrial development was born right here. That migrated, honorable members, outside of San Fernando. We must reclaim our space in this country. We must revitalize our city. This commencement of this project today marks the shovel turn for a contract already awarded, for works already in gear, for the redevelopment using local labor and local contractors. But you have permitted me to add to this redevelopment several other anchor projects, doable, capable of being performed, some already in gear, some 95% ahead, plans done, this year, ladies and gentlemen, and I mean this calendar year, ending in 2019's end of December, is a bumper year for San Fernando. Have faith, have hope that you have an executive MP and a mayor and councillors and aldermen that are aggressive in their desire for the redevelopment of San Fernando. Be warned that what has been unveiled is doable. It isn't that amorphous, nebulous concept of the waterfront. What was that when you heard it, ladies and gentlemen? What was the waterfront? Nobody could see it, nobody could imagine it, nobody could measure it, nobody could produce a single contract that had been awarded, a single vision that involved road networks and traffic circulation, a single project that involved the business community growing, be it fisher folk, be it businesses on the actual sites for development, PTSC bus yard, Ministry of Works site, Rushworth Street connection, 4-lane highway redevelopment, Skinner Park anchor, Anglican Church anchor, housing redevelopment at Carlton Lane, housing redevelopment second stage at Roy J, housing redevelopment in Mbakade, squatter regularization at the Marabella train line. Did you know that we have already built 30 homes to provide dignity to the Marabella train line? Did you know that that now takes us to 32? Because we built 2 previously for fire victims. 17 people burnt out on Christmas Day were given homes by a caring government. You see, ladies and gentlemen, people are tired of talk. San Fernando in particular is tired of talk. San Fernando has eyes locked on Petrotrim's rebirth. I can tell you that there is good news to come shortly. I can tell you that the advancement of the disposition of the refinery and the restart of the refinery is something that Petrotrim will speak to in short measure. I can tell you that the non-core assets of Petrotrim, Guaracala Park, the hospital, the clubhouse, the birthplace where squash flourished in Trinidad and Tobago, all of these are under active consideration and management, yielding in summary an explosion of benefit for the citizens of San Fernando and the environment. Ladies and gentlemen, it is with great pleasure that I thank the Honorable Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Keith Rowley, for being someone who has the vision and confidence in San Fernando, being the line minister for UDICOTT, which has managed the construction aspects of this project in coordination with the line ministry, which is the Ministry of Sport and Youth Affairs. My heartfelt thanks to the board of UDICOTT, to the management of UDICOTT, to the young, bright minds that are eager to assist San Fernando, not only at Skinner Park redevelopment, but PTSC, at NIBCO, at the waterfront redevelopment, all of that in the safe toe of a government that has a dedicated and detailed and specific plan underwritten in cost and performance for the benefit of our society. Congratulations to San Fernando. There will be a bit of inconvenience. We are open to talking to our neighbors. I know every neighbor in this neighborhood personally. I know that we will have a little bit of fine-tuning to do as we coordinate traffic flow to the schools, to the principle of ASJA. Our eyes are on that. That's why we separated phase 1 from phase 2, so that we didn't cannibalize the entire site. To TML as well, that may have some complications in this area. We are mindful that progress has a little inconvenience at times. So, put a smile, San Fernando. Thank you, Honorable Prime Minister. Thank you to my cabinet colleagues. Thank you to the Ministry of Sports and Youth Affairs. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, Deputy Mayor, and councillors. San Fernando is finally on track. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister.
At this point in time, I would like to invite our CEO and members of the, I should say, the head of our ceremony, ministers, to join Roxanne Stapleton as we go to the sod turning ceremony box. CEO.
Somebody's got a kiosk on this, you know.
Yes.
You need a foot on the shovel. Remove the shovel if you wish.
I don't like it to do a little garden.
Thank you.
And the other one, Roxanne. Roxanne, any contractor too? Hello.
Come on, kids. How many find us? Come on. Great, thank you everyone.
Thank you. Participate in our light refreshments located at the back. So please feel free to participate in our refreshments.
that I was not aware of any such activity. And I I said so just from my personal knowledge. I certainly would not be in a position to interfere, nor would I ever, in any police matter. Mr. McDonald asked me squarely on that I knew something that I reported so that I knew nothing. Secondly, on the day that the police entered into the home to conduct a search and took her into custody, I did receive a call from Ms. McDonald very early in the morning. She told me what was happening. I told her I didn't have to, of course, cooperate with the police service. She asked me if I knew anything about it. I told her I knew nothing about it. I noticed that Commissioner Griffith has spoken to what he has known about something, and I know that Commissioner Griffith's words are not necessarily inconsistent with what has been said. I have just confirmed to you. Commissioner Griffith said that as far as he's aware, he knows nothing about it. I would not expect Mrs. Bizarre-Recessa to have gotten any information from the Commissioner of Police. My interaction with the Commissioner of Police is a man of his own. He does not discuss matters that he would not to discuss. So I'm confident that Commissioner Griffith is speaking clearly and precisely when he said that he knew nothing of that. What I am absolutely capable of confirming to you is that I know for a fact that Mrs. Bizarre-Recessa did tell Mrs. McDonald that she was going to be arrested. My question is, how could the leader of the opposition do that? How could the leader of the opposition have information, which I am sure comes from lower-ranking police officers of police investigations? I can confirm to you, the Prime Minister, the Minister of National Security, I as Attorney General know nothing of it. It would not be uncommon if an event had happened that we would have been told after the fact. But we certainly would not be told, nor would we ever ask about any ongoing investigation. There are very clear rules in society.
So let's ask if she did that.
We're here on Skinner Park.
Yeah.
So can we do the Skinner Park now?
That's a topic. If she really did that, right?
Sorry, I've answered the questions. I want to do the Skinner Park now. You see, the reason why I'm urging you to move on is that I wear the hat as Attorney General. Today I stand as the Member of Parliament for San Fernando West on a Sod Attorney that we have waited literally 53 years for. I'd like to tell you that I would not like to speculate as the legal advisor for Trinidad and Tobago on any turpitude for Mrs. Bizarre-Recessa. That would be improper of me to say those things. I've asked a question, and I think that that's all that I ought to ask in fairness to Mrs. Bizarre-Recessa and in fairness to the process. So forgive me for urging you to turn to Skinner Park. It's 53 years that we've been waiting on this project, and this is big news for us in San Fernando. Sure. Absolute faith and confidence in Commissioner Gary Griffith. He's a man who knows what he ought to do. I don't need to give him any advice on his job and function. The Commissioner has spoken clearly. I read what the Commissioner said, what the headline said. There appear to be different things in my view. The Prime Minister has spoken as a matter of fact to what he knows. I can confirm the same thing. I know exactly what the Prime Minister said. The one voice inside of this equation that is silent is Mrs. Bizarre-Recessa. And that's perhaps all that we require. But Mrs. Bizarre-Recessa is not interested in what's happening. She was Prime Minister for 5 years and 3 months and so newly developed this constituency. I'm interested in the first project of redevelopment, which is the Skinner Park project today. 53 years long. Work has started already. I can't recall the figures offhand. It's anywhere around $118 million as last as I recall the figure. Phase 1, yes. And I do know that there are certain phases to be worked out. Work has commenced, obviously engineering structures and approvals are already there. There's been dismantling on the site, there's been clearing. The local contracting community becoming involved in this is a process which is ongoing, in particular in Neutral Boulevard, and I know that process is also completed. I couldn't say. I believe the project time is somewhere around 1 year. My job is to make sure projects start, but when projects start, they have to be finished. Yes, this is phase 1.
No,
Can you say how many phases?
The second phase is the secondary round. Just behind you is the secondary round. We have to install car parking and we have to absorb better utilization so we don't cannibalize the playfield. If when you come to use this park, you park on the playfield, you know the playfield. So there needs to be dedicated parking, which would supplement the usage of SAPA as well. We have additional parking.
Skinner Park is well known for food estate.
Temporary site is Brian Lara. Absolutely. Magistrates Court, that site has been delinked as the site for the magistracy's return. The Magistrates Court has been earmarked at Irving Park on Sutton Street, at that corner just there next time where Afghan's Bakery is, for those of you who know Sam Road. That site has been vested in the judiciary. They have completed their plans. We're estimating to start work to construct a Magistrates Court right there. It will take care of the disaster when Mr. Randall bought a building which was entirely unfit for purpose and which is abandoned. It cannot be occupied. Because that site can be used to expand the judiciary's footprint. The High Court is in a little constraint. So there's some space constraint there. It makes by far better sense to earmark that with development, link it to the High Court, and have the magistracy stand alone quite properly.
And I think people say they do know that building
Which one? There's several of them.
the building opposite the hospital.
The building opposite the hospital. Which one? There's several buildings.
Close to the court. You see a magistrate's court.
Talking about Jackie Kuno's old property on the corner.
The one that is supposed to be owned by a former.
Well, you can say it. Yes, that is the property that I'm referring to that is unfit for purpose, where there was a waste of expenditure. The Ministry of Works refuses to certify the building for redevelopment. It effectively has to be demolished and built. You're asking about the magistrate's site that we there, I know San Fernando very well. There's several buildings that can be provided by the asking about. So let's get up there and you can point it out to me and I can give you the precise figures on it.
You have mentioned a number of the assets of the Petro Trend being utilized in a way that utilizes San Fernando. Is it that it's going to be separated from that into something operated not just by the state?
What I can tell you is what I know. The Cabinet established a committee to look at the non-core assets of Petrotrin. That committee was chaired by Minister Lehunt. Minister Lehunt finished the work product there and is in discussions with the current board of Petrotrin. And I know from the chairman of Petrotrin that there is great urgency in ensuring that that asset base is managed in the best way possible for the company. I expect that Petrotrin and the Cabinet Committee will be able to speak to the final arrangements on that. What I can report is that the Cabinet took the issue as a specific issue, appointed a subcommittee of the Cabinet, and that work is near perfection now, so I expect good news to come from that particular venture.
Just one final thing for me. I know the Prime Minister
What I can tell you is that it's a matter of public record that there's a new board of Petrotrin on deck. In my discussions with the chairman of Petrotrin, I'm aware that that is a matter of very urgent priority, and I'm told that we can expect a decision this year because there is anxiety and important attention from people to ensuring that that asset returns. That's a matter that the company will have to speak to. The Cabinet will, of course, give its vision of events as they come along. But what I'm confident is that there is a solution at hand, and I'm very anxious for that to be. Not at all. The key is to make sure you've got it right. So if there's a month delay, a 2-month delay, we need to make sure that the best value for the decision is being made, because what's important here is the return of an asset to operation, the revenue that will be generated for the taxpayers, and very critically and importantly, the job base, the people who have been affected by the position. So that people base is the one of urgent priority for us. Fortunately, the companies are in a state of profitability as a result of the restructuring. And very fortunately, the processes to deal with the refineries carve-out are in final stages of completion, and I feel confident that the Energy Subcommittee and the Board of Petrotrin, that they will map out that process, and I'm confident that they'll have good news shortly. Good news for budget from the Attorney General's division is going to be great, where we can demonstrate value for money and what we have done. In fact, I intend to do a very public rollout of what we have done by way of law and order. It's a very, very comprehensive exercise. I'm just awaiting the Chief Justice's publication of statistics on Monday. That feeds into what I have to do. I don't want to use old statistics for you. I want to show you what I know already, which is a massive improvement in statistical performance purchased by way of the reform that we have implemented. Let the figures speak for themselves. This country's tired of all the talk. We're going to do and we can do and maybe we'll do. How about if we show it this time? Let's show it in reference to figures so that people can believe what is being said. No, there was no requirement for that. Cabinet approved a framework agreement. A framework agreement is a very large perambulating sort of structure. It just basically says Trinidad and Tobago and China will do certain things which can fall within a framework agreement. That's a Ministry of Foreign Affairs product. Out of that framework agreement, HDC would have engaged in certain discussions as a corporate entity, statutory corporate entity with the particular Chinese contract. That would be a matter that HDC speaks for. The Attorney General has no role, function, or purpose in getting any of those arrangements because it's not an Attorney General or Cabinet position. That's a contract position between a statutory authority and an entity. In this case, the rationale for the cancellation of the contract is simply that there could have been a better achieving of value for money, and to get the best value for money position that has been renegotiated, and there's been a move away from that contract. What I am interested in as the MP for San Fernando is that the project of housing development starts on time. That is a venture to be achieved by the HTC going out for its tendering processes using stock plans, because we have the plans in ability. The JCC has already indicated that they're eager to be competitive in the environment, many of the players there. So I am confident that that project can start this year and that we can have good rollout of housing. Housing is a number one priority for Trinidad and that is assuming that there is a cost. Well, you'd have to talk to Coach to see about these events. The Attorney General has no role or function in that. I can't involve myself in matters that I have no opinion in, no position in. Nor would I. The Chancery Lane project is a joint venture arrangement between the Anglican Church and the government, and the conceptual approvals for that cabinet approved that by way of PPP arrangement. The agreement to tenant that building by government footprint, and the FCB bank to tenant it as well has already been hammered out in principle, and therefore the banking sector, which is willing to bankroll that Anglican Church project, has indicated green light for that. I expect that we ought to have, God willing, and that's a proper term to use here, God willing, we ought to have good news on that, and my fingers are crossed on that.
Who is the contractor for this project, and is that person going to carry out all the phases?
York Structures, they've been awarded the contract for this site. That's been in the public domain for months now, and they are the ones to carry out phase 1. The contractor for phase 2 will be the subject of approvals coming from the cabinet and underwriting, and a separate tendering process that will happen. Okay, thank you.
And here is, that's what next to me, that's what is mine.
On the 18th of